Freeze's AD is good, but I think HTK is weaker with Freeze.
I think Giants are better. I just think overall UOL has improved a lot and the players are better.
Unicorns have actually similar problems to us. They're kind of like extremely inconsistent in the early game.
Splyce obliterate Schalke and pick up their first 2-0 of the summer split.
If we have same preparation, we can win again.
Rocket, the late game kings of team fighting, will end it against G2. A massive victory.
They have the weaknesses, but they have their good moments too.
I'm sure we can even win versus them.
3 looking for Cabo Shard to try and chase him down to finish the job. Amazing. Picks up Kasing.
This could be the game.
Changing players every week is probably not helping them that much.
He has the brain for it. Anyone that's not at the game can always be good at a role.
Gentlemen, and welcome to the European LCS, coming to you live from Berlin, Germany. The summer split is heating up as teams clamor to earn a place at the finals in Poland. It's a very, very cloudy Saturday afternoon here in Berlin, but the fans are hyped nonetheless. Fantastic cosplayers taking to the stage here in the studio and the arena as well. Wow, that killer cosplay, really, really neat. And
good Vitality cosplay right there.
Also, yeah, very good Vitality cosplay. Couldn't tell the difference, honestly. I'm EpicSkillshot supporter, and joining me here at the analyst desk is James Strauss O'Leary and Mitch Krepo-Voorspels. Different time, a Saturday, feels a little odd.
Feels a little weird. It's nice though. I had some coffee, got it ready to go. We're good, midday. Seems
got
like
the Harry Potter cosplay going on.
Exactly, it's good. 10 points.
I mean, it would be interesting. Some of the players obviously also had to, it's kind of a new schedule for them, so we'll see if we get more.
Amazing had the really quality tweet there. I really learned a lot when he said he woke up for the first time in time for breakfast here in Berlin, so showing really
and
nicely
breakfast in Berlin goes like till 1 a.m.
that our pro players are having a healthy schedule. Really nice to see that Origen on top of that one.
Good job, Rito.
Might be some fun games. Maxlot off camera yesterday was saying it's probably going to be a lot more like scrims. Everybody's going to be a bit loose, rough around the edges, you know, hard and fast games. Maybe we'll see some fun stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and let's take a look at the standings and what they're fighting for halfway through week 6 of the split. Much the same from yesterday. However, Giants has now taken the best of Schalke after doing well yesterday again. That 1-1 versus G2. They keep on rising in the standings, and Janko said, well, they're better than us.
Yeah, but if I look at the standings here, the Unicorns kind of crawling out of the hole. The bottom 4 pit is kind of the first thing that surprises me, but then teams like Vitality and Origen only having gathered 9 points here at this point in the summer split is just, yeah, it almost hurts a tiny bit.
Yeah, it does. Well, we'll see what they can do, but they'll have to do it very quickly. We're going to talk a bit about the meta as well. As yesterday, of course, we saw the introduction of 6.13 here for the European LCS. Taliyah top lane is something we saw. I want to talk about that a bit. Obviously, they won that game, but they were quite far ahead in that series.
They were super far ahead, but at least from what I liked about the game is, aside from trolling a little bit and kind of throwing their lead, Splyce at least showed that they had incorporated Taliyah in their gameplay. So a lot of these setups where they went for Baron, like the fact that that wall was that monster placed and they played around it and they were kind of split pushing and then moving Taliyah from one lane to the other, showed that they had like ideas how to play with this champion. They need to be refined, but I think towards playoffs, it's really important that teams start adding like strategical layers to their skill set. So having another champion that's rather unique like the Taliyah in there, both top and mid, I think will be a valuable asset for Splyce.
We saw a bunch of other champions that have a little bit more mobility, that kind of setup, like the Taliyah. Saw Kassadin coming out of the mid lane a couple of games. Not always as successful as we've seen Kassadin in the past, perhaps. Out of the support, we saw a couple of different things. Tam Kench was expected. Hylissang pulled out the Taric. Lots of different things coming out from 613 already.
But not a huge departure from what we've seen before. The Lulu, for instance, didn't come out, was picked nor banned. So
yeah, the Fishio was saying how Lulu is like a super strong laner and is like lane dominant. I actually don't agree with that too much. Yeah, I don't like Lulu very much as a fan. So I'm very biased there. But I think it's going to be incredibly hard to beat Karma and Bard in terms of like lane prowess. So some of these picks may come out, but I think only like as a counter pick if another melee is revealed. For example, like Tahm Kench does really well into some melee matchups because it's so annoying to play close to him because he has a Devour. And Tom Kench kind of suits as a support if you really want to get that Devour in the kit versus, like, say, Assassins, etc. But other than that, Karma will still be the tier 1 pick, I think.
We'll see what the people pick today with the summer finals in Krakow getting closer. Every win matters. And here's what's lined up for the teams today. We're going to start with Origen against Vitality in the arena, really needing a win, both of those teams. And Fnatic will be taking on the Unicorns of Love in the studio. And those teams are both coming off a 2-0.
Yeah, I really like that we're rounding out with Schalke and Splice, two teams that were honestly in Spring Split not that popular, but right now we'll have all eyes on that match, and they're also so similar in their progress here in the summer split here. Both teams surprised, both teams overachieving at many points for what was expected, but they still have some inconsistencies to fix. Schalke looking to come back from the tilt from yesterday. Splice, if they have another good run here, like, they're looking like a solid, like, potential top 3 team then.
Fantastic development from them so far. And after our final series of the day, we're going to jump into the post-game lobby where we will be joined by G2's Mithy. And after one day of the split on the new patch, we also want to hear your thoughts. In 6.13, what do you think has changed the support meta the most? And why, according to our analysts, not a whole lot, but maybe you have a different opinion. Tweet your responses at LOL Esports using the hashtag EOLCS, and we'll discuss your answers with one of Europe's best support players, Crepo. Both making the same joke. Now, we have a full day of games to get through before then, so let's dive into it, starting with our first match in the arena. It's going to be loopy today. Between Origen and Vitality, obviously both of these teams getting off to a horrible start on day one when they really need the wins.
Yeah, they really need the wins. But looking at Origen from yesterday, it was kind of frustrating because they had a couple of setups that they really should have been able to have taken the series to Unicorns, but they kept fighting. This was a game with very lacking in strategy. When you look at it, it was just fighting time and time again, and Origen were just saying, well, okay, well, you were stronger than us in the last fight, maybe we're stronger now, because they'd had a little bit more time, but it doesn't work that way. When you give over so many fights early on, and there's like a 9-0 Ashe on the other side by the end of the first game, you're never going to win those fights, and just Origen picked really bad fights every single time.
Yeah, we have to start questioning the infrastructure at this point for Origen, you know, from a team that grew, so like from Challenger into LCS, went to Worlds, everything looked like so well organized, but maybe it was just on the back of natural talent of a lot of their players, including Sven and Mithy, who they've now lost. And yes, they had Forgiven at the start, but he's out since week 1. So this roster is almost like half a split in entirely right now, and there doesn't seem to be much progression. We'd expect it. Like the first few weeks, you can say, yeah, he's swapping into AD carry role. You know, there's going to be some growing pains, and
they said we're going to look for someone.
And they're going to get used to things. And right when the moment when real progression is needed, they fire their coach. So I don't know what's going on in the Origen like infrastructure, but it seems to be very lacking.
Whatever happens, they have to fix it, and they have to fix it fast, preferably with a win versus Vitality. But Vitality also needs a win very badly. An 0-2 yesterday in that game versus Fnatic. Horrible match for them once again. And it was such a Vitality-esque game when they were up 2,000 gold at 15 minutes and then ended 10,000 gold down.
Yep, third largest comeback at 15 minutes there for Fnatic then against Vitality. Luckily, they could joke about it. I asked Cabochard in the makeup room. He was there with Kissing. I was like, guys, what's going on with the Cassiopeia split push? And he told me, game was too easy, man. Had to spicing it up, but at least they're joking about it because they know they screwed up, so they're looking for redemption.
All right.
Problem is, how many times are we going to see that kind of thing from Vitality where it's like, yeah, we know we made a mistake. We picked up a win here and there. They're in a lot of trouble down at the bottom of the table. Like, they need to start picking up at least points from these series.
I mean, 3 more weeks after this and then relegations.
Exactly.
Why are you giggling?
I mean, yeah, because I was just hoping I did the math right, you know?
Yeah, okay.
It would be scrutinized if I had my low-tier math wrong.
Let me, because it's before. Yeah, I think you might be correct. Anyway, from negative trend for these teams to a very positive trend for the two teams in the first matchup in the studio. Unicorns of Love up against Fnatic, both 2-0'd yesterday, so the opposite momentum of the other teams. They must be riding high. Fnatic 2-0'd Vitality and UOL 2-0'd OG. A lot of good things to look at here. One specific matchup I have my eyes on is Vizicachi versus Gamsu, because they both can be hit and miss. That Shen comes to mind as a huge priority. So I'm very interested in that matchup.
I'm super interested. And as you said, Shen, I think, is going to be banned more than anything because both teams are going to want this. It's been a bit more of a linchpin for Unicorns, perhaps, than Fnatic. I think Fnatic still have more options with Gamsu. Saying that, it's going to be an interesting one because Chachi has been doing very well in standard lane games when you look at his 1v1 setup. So if this gets drawn into standard lanes, Unicorns may very well have an advantage up in that top lane.
I think the Unicorns have at least a synergy right now to snowball in the early game, and Fnatic have shown that they've had lackluster early games. To touch on the Shen point, I just think it fits so well for Gamsu because he he's just like a typecast low econ player. Like that's his role within that team, and Shen fits there so well. Be down 30 CS, teleport to another lane, snowball advantage, win the map, bring CC to team fights. For Fnatic, I just hope they draft some semblance of crowd control effect so they can actually play the game in the early game, because I think as long as they stay neutral against Unicorns, they should pull ahead in the mid to late game.
And I think it's very interesting you talk about Gamsu being low econ, because Chachi is on the other side of that coin. I was looking into some of their goal distribution and CS stats, and Chachi is on the higher end when you look at Unicorns of Love. It's actually Veritas that normally is the lower econ player, but yesterday we saw a really good performance out from Veritas. On that Ashe, he died a bunch of times, but every time he was picking up 2 kills time and time again, gets to a point where he's just got 9 kills, bunch of items, and he missed a bunch of arrows, but at the same time, he was doing enough damage in fights that he ended up getting his first player of the game from it. It was a messy series, but a good performance nonetheless.
The early game will be so important here, because yesterday also, obviously, Fnatic faltered in that second game as well again, and Unicorns of Love are actually the worst lane swap team in the league, so I wonder what's going to come out of that.
I mean, I think Rocket took that crown with a single game yesterday with their support suicide to the tower, but second worst lane swap team then.
Hey, you can have an off moment, right?
Yeah, but
not like that. Not like that. Anyway, to watch that match between Fnatic and the Unicorns of Love, make sure you're tuned into EOLCS 2, and for Origen's battle against Vitality on EOLCS 1, that's where you want to be. That's all from us here for now, so let's say hello to our casters.
Hello.
Hey.